A very good morning to every one of you that have taken the time to join us on the call this morning. Also, a very good morning to every one of our member companies who have also sought, interest in our webinar this morning. Thank you to our speakers. Also internally to Sina, we really appreciate your time. And of course, Aeons. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and for really coming through to be part of this, access to market opportunity for our members who really do see great value in, the MAP program. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for affording us the opportunity to have you lend your voice to the opportunity. And as I said to our members, thank you so much. We know this will be highly beneficial to you. Before I get you or get our speakers to come in and talk about the market access platform, I would like to just give you a little background into, Proudly South African, as well as how we are using MAP as an excellent access to market opportunity for both our members and the private sector. So in terms of MAP or market access platform, Proudly South African has adopted the platform to allow our member companies the opportunity to work with the private sector across 26 different sectors. Proudly South African, as you know, is the country's national buy local campaign, and it is our duty then to make sure that we advocate for the private sector, the public sector, and the general consumer to make a local purchasing decision. And in doing so, we, are using various opportunities to create the access for every one of our member companies to get into retail, wholesale, and B2B. So market access platform is really a software, an IT software, whereby we have listed our member companies onto the platform. And this platform then would ask the buyers from the private sector to be able to meet our members and to do business with our members. So the site really is where buyers meet suppliers. And in this instance, those suppliers are the member companies of Proudly South African across multiple sectors. Now, what is very important is that, yes, this is an access to market benefit to our member companies, but also it offers more than just access to market. So if we look at the landscape of MAP, we understand that whenever you open up, your LinkedIn or any catalog, everyone's always talking about inclusivity, about growth, about local growth, about regional growth. And so it's so important to understand that MAP plays a crucial role in fostering economic growth. So promoting financial inclusion and empowering individuals and communities. So what it is that we are doing is we are saying, if you manufacture stationery, for an example, a buyer can come onto the site, look for the category, find you and procure from you. So really what it is doing, we're creating a sort of inclusivity whereby companies all the way from small to medium-sized enterprises right up to larger corporates are being used, see a financial gain from the site because buyers are able to contact them and use them. So it's very inclusive and it is financially inclusive. Of course, from a marketing, membership, and our executives are actively involved in making sure the corporate sector or the private sector on your side actively list as buyers on MAP so that they are able to use our member companies in their procurement needs. So it is very important then that it's not just our members that are sitting there on MAP, but we are actively canvassing for buyers from the private sector to access MAP to create opportunities for our member companies across their different sectors. And I think also what is very important to know that, by providing the means to access financial markets, market access therefore promotes inclusivity and it improves your financial well-being as a member, especially for SMEs that wish to grow, into larger corporates. I had a member company that just told me this morning it's so important for SMEs to graduate at some point into larger businesses. And in order to do this, you need to, not just access the markets, but also gain some level of financial, breakthrough as an SME. So this morning we have Aeons on the call because they are going to take you through how they will best assist our member companies into not just living on MAP, but growing on MAP financially and being able to access, or not just access the opportunity, but have access to finance in order to grow your business. Before I bring them, call them to, advise you on how this is best done, I would like to call Sina Makua, who's our internally running MAP. Now, what Sina does is Sina manages the entire MAP process, whereby she allows our member companies the access to MAP, but guides them on the process of how to list themselves onto MAP and how to then market themselves to buyers. So, Sina, if I can call you in just to be able to give everyone on the call, including our social media, the opportunity to understand how to access MAP, how to be listed on MAP, and how to be able to, do business on MAP. That would help everyone, especially because we can't get to finance before we get to access. So, Sina, if you can assist us with the knowledge on how to get onto MAP. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sina Makua, and I work as the project management assistant at Proudly SA, and I also manage the market access platform. So I'll take you through through the platform today, how it works from the supplier side to the buyer side. So I will share my screen now to take you through the platform. So this is the landing page of MAP, Market Access Platform. So it's one of the benefits that we give free to our active members. So if you are a member of Proudly SA, so this is one of the benefits that you'll get. So for you to log in, you have to go to map.proudlysa.co.za. You have to insert your password. You have to insert your email address that you used when you registered your business at Proudly SA. And you have to set a password for you to go into the platform. So I'll take you through the supplier side. Supplier side is the active members of Proudly SA. So when you go in, so the first thing that I usually ask once I've added your details on the platform is for you to update your details, the company information. So you go to where it says My Profile, insert the whole information of the company. You have to update your company name, the name in person that will be able to manage the platform, the industry. So you have to mention the industry that you are in. We have 26 industries, so you have to select one of the industries that you are in. Then under industry, we have products and services. Then you can select one of the products and services that you do as a company. And under sub products, if your whatever you do is not under products and services, you have an option to type in case you do shoes, you can type in shoes and any other product and services that you'll be offering. So you can also insert your role in the company and make sure the company information is also accurate. We also require you to insert your CIPC number and the Proudly SA membership number. Usually this is what I type in because already we have it on our database. You also select where you operate in SA. Is it all the provinces or it's only Gauteng? And you also have an option to select if you operate outside SA. Then you can select which countries that you sell your products to. You also do update your annual sales turnover, the year of established, the number of employees, and description of what you do as a company. And if you have participated in any ESD before, you can select yes, and you have an option to list all the ESD that you did participate in. So the most crucial part is the BE section. So most of the buyers, when they go to the site, they will search by criteria, which they can filter by BE level, by the industry. So we urge all our members to log in and update the BE section. So as a supplier, you can also see my ratings. This is where you get to see if a buyer was happy with your services. So let's say you get a tender RFP through the platform. Sina will come and rate your services based on whether you delivered on time, the quality of your product, your communication was well or not. Then under opportunities, this is where you can search the RFP, RFQ, or tenders. But this is only be based on your industry. So if you are under IT, finance, you only see opportunities under that industry. So this is to avoid everyone having to get all the opportunities, even though they're not in that industry. So here I'm under finance, but then I can only see opportunities under accounting, banking, or professional services, and short-term life insurance. Then you have information about Proudly SA, what we do, and the benefits that you get as a member. Then under local procurement, this is for buyers that would like to procure local and commit to meet their procurement target. And this is usually done at the Buy Local Summit, where we give certificates. Then we have a new tab, one of the good benefits that we recently gonna be talking about our colleagues on the line. So we have trade finance for suppliers. This is where you can apply for finance. So our colleagues on the line from Usko Aeons will take you through the benefits, how you can apply on this. So it has all the information, what they'll be offering to you, the kind of finance they can offer you to. Then when you click on the apply with Usko, it will direct you straight to the finance page where you can apply what you need or what you're applying for, the kind of credit you're needing or the kind of finance you need. Then back to MAP, I'll take you to the last thing of the supply side. You have my dashboard. So under my dashboard, you see the number of opportunities that you got. There's a graph that you see the number of opportunities. Apologies. There's the number of opportunities that you'll be having. So if you got 2 tenders through the platform or RFP, there'll be a graph that will be showing on the dashboard side. Then under Map Connect, should there be anyone who's interested in doing business with you without posting a RFP, you'll get an email, and I'm copied in all the emails that, hi, Sina, Alicia would like to make some business with you. You can either accept that opportunity or decline. Let's say you had bad reviews, whether Alicia doesn't pay customers on time, so you can also decline that. So we have events calendar. So under events calendar, this is, you can see all the events that Proudly SA has. Should be interested, there's information. If you click on one of the events, then you can join the webinars or any events that we'll be having. Then if you have any queries, you can log a query through MAP, then I'll respond to that. Should you have issues logging in, and I'll be happy to respond to your emails, and I'll respond. That is the supplier side. Then I'll take you through to the buyer side, which is the corporate buyers. So to be a buyer on the Proudly SA side, you don't have to be a member of Proudly SA. So this is the section of the buyer. We don't need much information that goes under my profile. It's just your name, company name, industry, your number. And as I said, it's not necessary for you to have a Proudly SA membership number. And as a buyer, you can refer buyers and supplier. Let's say you know ABSA that wants to buy shoes or furniture from a local member and they're not here. You can just copy the link and send it to them. So you can refer buyers that can join the Proudly SA and buy from our suppliers. And let's say you know any SMEs that are not Proudly SA members and you like to refer them, you can also copy the link and send it to the SMEs. Then our membership will take them through the membership application. And as a buyer, this is where I was saying you can search suppliers. So we have over 1,900 suppliers listed on the platform. So you can search by industry. Let's say you're looking for anyone in healthcare, you can search healthcare and filter. And all the members that we have at Proudly SA that are under healthcare will appear under the tab. So you can also search by the BE designation, the BE level. So this is the members that we have that are under healthcare. So they'll be listed here. So you can connect with them through the platform. So you can also rate the suppliers. Let's say you have awarded an RFP or tender to one of the Proudly SA suppliers and they delivered on time, you can come here and rate their services. So we have 10 questions that you'll be rating them on. Whether they were good and delivered on time and you are happy with their services. So this is where you can rate them. So these are the questions that you'll be answering, whether the administration, supplier's administration, a system, supplier communicates all the relevant information, delivers on time, products and services delivered, met the expectations, and there's other questions that you can rate the suppliers on. And they'll get a notification there. Giasina Alicia has rated you. You can go to the supplier side to see your reviews, to see your ratings. So under opportunities, so about Proudly SA, as I said, most of our buyers are not Proudly SA members. So you have an option to become a member. So when you click on this tab, it will direct you to our website where you can find the membership application. So you can also make a commitment to procure local to meet your your financial year procurement targets through committing to procure local, your company name, how much you're willing to you'll be spending on locally made goods and services, the industry that you'll be focusing on, area if you only want to support businesses that are based in the rural areas, you can also type in there. Then this will go to Janine and she'll communicate with you how to finalize your procurement and give you all the documents. So we also still have the new tab that our colleagues will take you through, the trade finance for buyers. Then they have all that. Then you can also chat to Usko about the supply financing partnership. If you want to partner with Usko to support our suppliers, you can come to this tab and it will direct you to the Usko site. So as a buyer, you can also upload tender or RFPs. So these are the fields that are required for you to fill in your company name, the opportunity, industry that you are looking for. As I said, our members will only get a notification in that industry. So let's say you're looking for someone in agriculture, only members in agriculture will get a notification that there's an opportunity posted on the Proudly SA Market Access platform, and they can go and view and upload and apply for that tender. So you can upload a PDF, deadline of the submission, the estimated date of contract award, termination date, the province where the opportunity is designated for, and you can also type in your description. Then you can submit the opportunities. Then underneath, this is where you see all the opportunities that you have posted before. And you also have, you can see the number of suppliers that have applied for that application, for that RFP that you have posted. So under my dashboard, as the buyer side, this is where you see the number of opportunities that you have created and the number of applications that you have connected with through the platform. Then under Map Connect, if you are interested in doing business with Sina, they will appear here. This is the list of connections between the buyer and the supplier. So you can also see the events calendar that our Proudly SA have in the next coming months or days. Then should you have any questions or any issues with the platform, you're more than welcome to log a query and I'll respond to you. So that is us on the Market Access platform. I'll leave my email address in the chat box and I'll respond to you tomorrow after writing my exams. Thank you. Over to you, Adisha.
Tina, thank you so much. All the best for your exams. Thank you for availing yourself. We really appreciate it. Colleagues, without any further ado, I would like to introduce you, or I'll allow them to introduce themselves. So we have on the call Karabo Makete from Aeons, who will welcome and introduce the Aeons venture team to us so that we are able to then, understand what it is that they do, who they are basically, what it is that they do, and how they can help us with, our members across MAP. So Karabo, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. Good morning, everyone. My name is Karabo Makete. I'm the investment principal at Aeons Ventures. And to my right is Karen Campion. She'll introduce herself a bit later. And to my left is Mitch Adams. I would just like to share a presentation.
We can see your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. And is it moving? Okay, no problem. Okay. So as I said, my name is Karabo Makete, and I'm the investment principal at Aeons Ventures. At Aeons, our journey started with a very simple but stubborn question. And our question was, what would South Africa look like if small companies got the support that they actually needed? And on a quest to answer this, we knew that tackling unemployment was the way in which we needed to go, and that because unemployment is our country's biggest challenge, addressing that starts with unlocking entrepreneurship. So as a result, we knew that we needed to work into entrepreneurship and building businesses, because when businesses grows, families grow, communities grow, and so do opportunities for every South African. Please let me know if my slides are moving, or should be.
I think, yes, they're moving, yeah.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. So that's basically how Aeons was born. Our name comes from a Greek word, aeon, which means life, force, or age. And then there's also a Finnish meaning for the word aeon, and that is intention. So together, it means the intention to create lasting impact, which is exactly why we formed Aeons. We're not just a passive investment fund that gives money and then lets the SMEs run on their own, but we like to get involved in the nitty-gritty procedures of building a company. We've done it all. We've packed boxes, we've done deliveries, we've built systems, handled the chaos, because that's where, if we're being honest, that's where the real growth happens, when you are ready to get down and dirty together with the founders. In just a few years of doing this, we have seen the results that such an approach can have. And just to mention a few of what we've been able to achieve in the past few years is that we have invested in 11 companies in total. We've launched 3 subsidiaries, and over 1,000 direct jobs have been created, as well as over 5,000 lives being impacted by the work that we've been able to do at Aeons, all right here in South Africa. So some of our investees have gone to become award-winning in ventures. Some of them are like the company that you see in front of us called Delivery Gus Speed, and others that you might have seen in the previous screen, who are redefining what African entrepreneurship looks like. Hoodie, who is the gentleman on the right, the founder and CEO of Delivery Gus Speed, started with just a handful of friends and a few bicycles in the town of Hammanskraal. He started his business in 2021, and he has now grown and expanded to opening 5 warehouses across the country, delivering parcels at an estimated rate of 2 minutes. In doing so, we have started to notice that some of our investees do get to a point where they're able to get into supply chains, they're able to land a big corporate deal or an order, but they end up falling short or hitting a wall because they don't have the necessary funds to do the work that they've been awarded. This is not because they can't do the work themselves, but it's just because of the cash flow that they do not have, which will allow them to deliver on their purchase orders or their work that they've been awarded. This is a result of the traditional banking systems or funding systems that exist currently, which basically usually say no to entrepreneurs. And the ones that don't say no say sure, but then leave you drowning in a whole lot of debt and fees for getting that credit. So this didn't sit right with us, as we understood the implications that come with running a company. And we decided to build something completely different, something that is fair, something that is fast, and something that is, of course, proudly South African. That's how Usko was born. It's a trade finance solution that helps small businesses turn opportunities into delivery. No red tape, no impossible collateral, no crippling interest, just fuel for the hustle. Today, with Proudly South African, we're here to show you exactly how it works and how we can build stronger supply chains together. Because when South African businesses wins, South Africa wins. I'll then be handing over to my colleague Karen, who will take us through the next part of the presentation.
Karabo, thank you so much for that. I think before Karen even starts speaking, I wanted to, from my side especially, I head up membership, so I think it's so important what it is that we're going to hear now, because it's actually the when you sit in a meeting and you say, what is preventing you from doing something, or what is not allowing you to take up a certain challenge. This is one of those, because all of our access to market platforms, whether it be the Buy Local Summit and Expo, where we matchmake, or MAP, or e-commerce, member companies require financial assistance to be able to, actually receive this access to market opportunity positively. So Karen, thank you so much for that. Colleagues, Karen's going to take us through the challenge, the big orders, and of course, the small budgets. So Karen, thank you for that. I'll leave it in your capable hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Hello, everybody. I'm Karen Campion. I'm the COO here at Aeons Ventures. Usko, as obviously Karabo has mentioned, is our trade finance platform, which we have developed internally. And we're going to start with a poll and a quiz. I hope this works. It wasn't working earlier. So I'm just going to go to the next screen, and you will see a QR code on the screen now, which you can scan, or we can go to www.menti.com and you can input that code there. I'll give everybody a minute or two just to get in, and then we can start. Okay, we have 3 players ready. I'll let a few more of you try and join. Please just let me know in the chat box if anybody is experiencing issues to get in. Okay, there's somebody with the Father Christmas hat on. That's joined. Awesome, 5 players. Let's try get to 10. We've got 16 attendees, so if we can try get at least 10 to play. Another player, thank you. Awesome. 6 players ready. I know, our 6th player has dropped off. Okay, I'll wait. We'll wait until 10:37 to start the quiz. Please just let me know if any of you are experiencing issues. Okay, nice. There were 7. Somebody dropped off. Okay, 3 more seconds. 7 players. We have a bunny. We have a donut. We have a Father Christmas. We have somebody in a rowboat. We have a top hat. We have a bear. Okay, I am going to start the quiz. So the first one is really just a question around what stands in the way of you growing your business right now? Is it cash flow, access to buyers, capacity, or too many WhatsApp groups, not enough invoices? Okay, everybody has voted. And it seems like the 2 biggest options are cash flow and too many WhatsApp groups. Okay, the next question is, if you answer quickly, you get more points. How many new jobs will be created by MSMEs in the next 15 years? 1 out of every 5, 4 out of every 5, or 1 out of every 10? Okay, everybody has submitted. Who we got in the leader? Okay, we have a Mr. Gepinkel in the leader here, at the top of the leaderboard. And then we have Bill, followed by K-pop. Okay, all right. The next slide. Right. So remember, fastest fingers win. By 2030, MSMEs will contribute the following percentage increase to South Africa's GDP: between 60 and 80%, 20 and 40, and 40 and 60. Everybody has voted. All right, nice. Most of you got this right, between 60 and 80%. Let's have a look at the leaderboard there. Oh, K-pop and Gepinkel. No. Okay, Gepinkel, K-pop and Roo. That's the top 3. Our second last question here. What is the estimated funding gap per annum in South Africa? Is it 5 million rand, 350 billion rand, or 3.5 billion rand? Okay, 2 people got this right. The funding gap is 350 billion rand in South Africa per annum. So that is the gap between opportunity and deliverability. And then let's have a look at the leaderboard here. Okay. All right, K-pop is winning this by a mile, guys. Then we've got Rapunkel and Roo. All right, and then our last question. If you drink coffee, maybe you'll be able to figure this out. This takeaway coffee, because somebody asked me the question. So think of a 50 Rand coffee. This funding gap would allow you to buy 1 coffee per person in the world, 1 coffee per person in South Africa, 1 coffee per person in India. Okay, excellent. People know their maths. So it is 1 coffee per person in the world. That is how massive the funding gap is in South Africa at the moment, which just goes to show you how much opportunity there is and how much we're not facilitating, because small businesses like yourselves lack access to funding. Okay, great, guys. Let's see who won that. All right. The winner is not K-pop, because K-pop is seated right here, I'm assuming. She tried to sneak in under the radar, so well done to Roo, whoever Roo is. Nicely done. Okay, so just to recap that, this is based on a white paper that was published last year. For a small business looking to establish itself, the difficulty in accessing the necessary capital has always been a tremendous obstacle. At present, that obstacle threatens to trip up our national economy. The important role small businesses play in our economic growth cannot be understated. And yet, the sector of our economy has routinely been neglected to the detriment of our fiscus, our people, and our prospects for the future. The guys that are in this room right now are the lifeblood of our economy, and we have to grow you. The World Bank forecasts that 4 out of every 5 new jobs over the next 15 years will be created by MSMEs, and the NDP envisaged that by 2030, MSMEs will contribute between 60 to 80% GDP increase in South Africa and generate 90% of the 11 million new jobs. The MSME sector is impeded by a persistent and growing funding gap that exceeds more than 350 billion. This deficit significantly hampers the sector's growth and its ability to contribute more meaningfully to employment and GDP. So it's not just a shortage of supply, it's rather that finance is not aligned to the demand. And you would have experienced this in approaching traditional financing means like a bank that aren't able to assist you. And this is why we exist. This is why Usko has been developed. I'm just going to launch into how Usko works for MSMEs and for corporates. So when we look at MSMEs, we look at the 4 types of trade finance that Usko offers. We offer purchase order funding, we offer invoice purchasing, revolving credit, and early payout advances. The last 2 are more geared towards e-commerce MSMEs, but we'll cover that in more detail. So let's have a look at purchase order funding. I'm sorry for those of you who know how this works. For those of you who don't, or for those of you who just want to giggle, bear with. So purchase order funding, here's Leti. Leti has a chicken farm. It's doing really, really well. You can see how many chickens Leti has. And she's been trying to break into procurement for many, many years. Eventually, she gets a massive order. So she gets a massive order with KFC, which is, in this instance, Kimberley fried chicken. But the only problem, so Leti has all of the chickens, but Leti's processing and packaging facility looks like this. It's unfinished, so Letty has to approach a few suppliers in order to get her chickens processed and packaged for her order with KFC. So if we look at how this works with Usko, the KFC order value will be 1.5 million rand. Letty's supplier cost to process and package will be 1 million. We come in and we front that capital directly to the supplier. So we will pay them 1 million rand. Letty delivers the order to KFC. KFC pays Letty. Everything's lekker. Then how do we work out what is Usko split? What is our fee? We only work on your margin. We don't work on the full amount of capital that is being dispersed. So in this instance, Letty's margin is 500,000 rand. We take a split of that. And our margins are tiered. So smaller the margin, the higher the split, and so it goes down. So in this instance, at 500,000 rand margin, we take 23% of that. And I think the great thing here is that Letty didn't need to dip into her own cash flow, into her own capital. She retains 385,000 rand profit, hopefully to finish her processing plant so that she can grow from this. But that's purchase order funding in a nutshell. Then when we move to invoice purchasing, okay, so Mitch, he is a sound guy, he's a concert guy, he puts on this incredible Miriam Makeba tribute concert for the SAHBC, which is the South African Honest Broadcasting Commission. And it's a huge success. There's thousands of people that attend. Millions around the world have watched it. Mitch has obviously used his own cash flow to fund this, but because of this amazing success of this concert, he gets another proposition very shortly after this. Mitch is unfortunately waiting for that invoice to be paid from the SAHBC. So it's going to take 60 days for that invoice to be paid. Mitch has to front up a whole bunch of costs now. He's got to pay sound people, he's got to pay for equipment, etc., etc. So he can't wait 60 days to get that cash flow back into his business. So Mitch comes to Usko and he says, please, can you buy this invoice from me? And this is how it looks in practice. So the invoice value is 1 million rand. We buy the invoice from Mitch at an agreed percentage. These percentages differ. In this instance, we'll buy it at 85%. So when SAHBC makes payment, Usko is paid back the 850,000 rand that we advanced or bought the invoice for, and we then charge a fee depending on a few factors. So really, at the end of the day, Mitch retains his full invoice amount minus the fee. And again, he has cash flow into his business to facilitate more events, more services while he's waiting for that invoice to be paid. All right, then moving on to revolving credits. Karabo on my right here secretly sells K-pop Demon Hunter headphones, which are wildly popular. I'm actually going to buy myself a pair for Christmas. I hope she gives me a discount. Mainly through her Take-A-Lot seller account. So therefore, purchase order funding or invoice purchasing won't necessarily work for her because from a risk perspective, her sales aren't necessarily guaranteed, right? As she gears up for Black Friday, though, she's worried she won't have enough stock for the estimated orders based on previous sales. So she comes to us and she says, look at how these have been flying. Now I'm worried I'm going to discount them for Black Friday. I'm worried I'm not going to have enough stock, and I don't, unfortunately, have the cash flow to front all that stock. Please have a look at my previous sales. So we look at her previous sales and we go, okay, cool. Based on your trading history, we can approve a credit facility or a loan, a revolving loan of 100,000 rand She says, okay, great. I need to place an order for 60,000 Rand, and we advance her 50% of what she needs. As she sells, she repays and then unlocks again, repays and unlocks again. So everybody's going to Karabo's posse for chow for Christmas Day. And then the last one is early payout access, also for e-commerce platforms. So this is obviously the best business that I'm about to present now. Karen is obsessed with Lego. Seems like the coolest business out of all of the ones that I've mentioned. So she buys and she sells discontinued sets on various e-commerce sites. During December, when everyone is panic buying for Christmas, 40,000 Rand of Karen's capital is locked up in aggregated payout accounts. So I'm sure if any of you do sell on an e-commerce platform, you know that the money that is owed to you goes into almost like a wallet or an escrow or whatever until that amount is released or paid out to you. So obviously there's times that you will need that money before that payout happens, and you can approach us. And we can advance you again based on historical sales. We can advance you up to 100% of that capital that is locked up in your aggregator account. Once that payout date is due, that payout then comes to us. So that's it from a funding trade finance perspective, the 4 types of trade finance that Usko offers to MSMEs. And then if there are any buyers or corporates on the line here, essentially, I don't know if anybody's old enough or enough of a Bette Midler fan to know this album. It's the single is called Wind Beneath My Wings. But essentially, we sit behind you and we facilitate cash flow for your suppliers and for you, really. So when we talk about the funding gap, it's not just an MSME problem, it's a supply chain problem. And as corporates and buyers, you've all seen it. You've got brilliant suppliers, great work ethic, real potential, but they can't deliver because they don't have the upfront cash flow. And that's where we come in. We step in behind the scenes, the wind beneath your wings. We find your suppliers so that they can fulfill your orders on time, every time, no delays, none of that. We can also monitor any metrics that you would like us to from an ESG perspective. Job creation is essential for the country, so we can really monitor anything that you would like from your perspective. And it shows you real measurable impact in terms of you guys, corporates giving orders to MSMEs and assisting them grow. So it's a win-win. Because when your SMEs can deliver, your business can perform. All right, and that's me. I'm going to hand over to the tech guy who is amazing. Who actually built the system?
Hi guys. Seeing it's a proudly South African webinar, it's only right to greet you as a webmaster journalist. Yes, I am the CEO apparently, but also the tech guy in the background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through some of, practical application for some sort of funding, depending on which funding you're going for. So I'm just going to switch screens quickly. Which will require me to stop sharing. And I hope I've done that. Okay. Then I shall reshare. Okay. So what you would have seen from Sina was how to get to this page where you're on either the buyer side or the supplier side, and you click on that link, you're going to land on the screen. And then Kieran took you through the 4 options that that you would have, which is purchase order funding, invoice purchasing, revolving credit facility, or early payout. This is the website. If you go to usko.finance on your own, you could read a lot more about it. But if you go through MAP, it's going to take you directly onto the screen. So purchase order funding, say I want to apply for this. The information we will need from you is your company name. So let's go with John's Fish Supplies, an email address so we can contact you, as well as a phone number so we can contact you. Then we need to understand what your purchase order value is. Let's say it is 350,000 Rand. Small purchase order. And you are going to need 250,000 Rand to make this happen. Not 25, 250. So we can see what your margin is going to be is 100,000. And that's 28% is the margin. You need to decide, well, you don't decide, I guess it's dictated to you, of when you actually have to deliver this job by. So let's say you have to deliver by the end of this month, which is going to be difficult for you, I won't lie. But let's hope John can do this. And then the payment terms are 60 days. So then we would calculate everything, yeah. So there you can see full costing. Your purchase order is 350. Usko's cost is going to be 27,000. And will pay 250,000 to the supplier. John's Fisheries basically makes 73,000 without taking anything out of their bank account. That's just the money that gets paid to them. So you can either go back and edit stuff on the form. For instance, we can say actually the debit or the purchase order is actually 550, which means the margin's even higher. And that does affect the price, as you can see. Now it's a bit bigger because it's on a tiered system. Let's say also the payment terms is a lot sooner. It's 14 days because fish goes off faster. You'll see it also affects there. So all the variables affects the costing of your deal. The longer it takes, obviously, the longer the risk, the longer we wait, the higher the cost. The bigger the margin, the cheaper the cost from a percentage perspective. The smaller the margin, the higher the price from a percentage perspective as well. But let's say you accept that, great. We need some information. It's all good and well you tell us there's a purchase order, but there really is there one. So we need documents like the quote from your supplier. We need your CIPC documents. We need your last financial statements of the company, last 3 months. Now, if your financials are in a bad state, if you don't have audit, or it doesn't really have to be audited, but it needs to be management reports. If you don't have that, it's fine. Just submit what you can. So you would go browse files, and then you would select files. I'm just selecting random files here. And then you say next, that gets uploaded, and application successfully submitted. And then we will respond to you within 24 hours and get the ball rolling, get you some money for Christmas so that your kids are not sad. Okay, let's go through invoice purchasing. So you applied for those. Now you need that. So again, it's John's Fisheries. John's email address. We always need contact details just in case something goes wrong, just in case there's a nuance. Let's say it's the same thing. It's 550,000 Rand. They've delivered the project already. So John has delivered the fish and they've given the invoice to John Doris. And John Doris says, we will only pay you, unfortunately, on the 2nd of January. Because we don't pay anybody over December because our accountant goes on leave. So obviously John needs to pay his guys because everybody goes on break on the 12th. So let's calculate how much that's going to be. So we will then give John 529,650 Rand. and we will take a fee of 20,000 Rand when that invoice does get paid. But we'll pay that money upfront today so that John can carry on with his life. And the same thing, you accept this, we need your documents, you browse, you upload, you say next, and then you give us 24 hours to put money in your bank account. Okay, and then the other two options, as Karen stated, which is more e-commerce platforms, say apply now. Right now, the only partner we really have is Takealot. Proudly South Africa is here, so you would click on there, it would take you to Maps to actually log in. That's if you're coming directly to the site. But if you came from Map, you would only see Takealot. You click on Takealot. You give us, again, information about your company. I don't know who sells fish online, but John certainly does do so. Maybe it's just Tackle or something. And John needs 250,000 Rand to get him through silly season because Black Friday is around the corner. And then how much he expects to use on average, just taking guesstimates. You don't have to be 100% correct on this. Just to help us give a quote. Oh, no.
Oh,
Of
no.
course.
John's not gonna get his kids' Christmas presents.
Yeah, that is called curse of the demo. But what would happen is, we would actually ask for login details, well, not login details, but the authentication or auth into Takealot, and then we can pull a whole bunch of information about your sales records, all of that. We have to control the flow of funds in this, so we also have to change the bank account to a escrow account on our side, and then we'll do all the payouts monthly, but you'll see on your account that you have access to this 250 every month, or as you use it. This one should work. Also, if your platform isn't here, again, we said it's Takealot. Let's say you're on Alibaba or Amazon, just tell us where you are so we have enough evidence to go to them and say, people want this. Takealot was easy to convince. I think they're a lot more aligned with the South African story and want to change stuff. So, same thing. John's Fisheries, 250. And the date when John wants to pay out at the end of the month, submits this. That's what's supposed to happen. Now, what we saw earlier on. So application received, great. You go home. He'll get his money on the 30th, or we can do another application if he has another website or another dealer on Takealot or somewhere else. But that's essentially it. It's that simple. Right now, I will hand back to the successful e-commerce seller over here, K-pop, who seems to have made a lot of money and is going to need some of this stuff, some of these payouts to get through Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Because Karen invited everybody for
To my board.
Charles by
You're gonna have to earn a lot of money.
So I'm just going to switch back to the presentation. We are going to go into some questions and answers that are commonly asked by people who film and use our services.
That's all.
Colleagues, I don't want to interfere with your presentation. Just thought maybe we could, some of the questions, maybe we could align it to the questions on screen as well. So some of the people are asking from social media and on the call. First, okay, let me just see. I want to be completely, okay. I'm reading one of their questions. In terms of who can apply for funding, So they are asking, do you have to be a proudly South African member to apply for purchase order funding, and you have to be listed on MAP? Okay, I'll leave that one to you, but just to say, we prefer that people are listed on MAP, because the aim of the webinar is to say that you are assisting those that are listed on MAP with funding for access to market. So perhaps you can also answer who can apply for funding.
So as Alicia had said, we would prefer that you are listed on MAP. However, you will not be completely excluded if you apply through Usko on your own, through your own entity. You are able to apply for funds, but we have ring-fenced certain amounts of money for applicants who would be coming through Proudly SA as one of our partners in this.
Thank you. The next question is, in terms of the funding timeline, if all our documentation were in order and we supply them through to you, what is the timeline for funding? So say if someone, I don't know, so if someone sent you all of the documentation and it does, abide by all that you require, how long after that does funding work?
Funding usually takes a few days once we've received all your documentation and we've been able to verify all the information that you've supplied us with.
Thank you. The
Sorry,
next question, sorry.
Sorry,
Yes.
just to expand on that, just to expand on Karaba's answer, it really also depends on the deal size as well. So smaller deals can take 2 days, bigger deals will take 7 days. It really just depends.
Okay.
Can I also expand further? It's a once-off application. So once all the documentation's been given and you've been approved the first time, then follow-on funding is quite fast. That can happen in 24 hours.
Okay, so if I understand this, so this is purely for myself, just so that I have the knowledge for our member companies. So once all the documentation is provided to you, that is a once-off. So the next funding, so say for instance, I have an order with a certain company, they give me a PO, I give you all the details, and you onboard me, you finance me. So the next time I have an order with the same company, do I still need to go back to basics, or you just able to fund with the PO?
We're just able to fund with a PO.
Yeah, and it takes a shorter time because you'd already be onboarded, and we'd already have some of your information.
Okay. Then the next question is, what is, I just need to look at this properly. Okay, there we go. So the question is, what does everybody have the same? Sorry, this is a long question. Okay, so to just give you the gist of it, does everyone have the same percentage in terms of what needs to be paid back, or does it work differently across different companies?
So it works differently across different companies. So what we look at is, as we said, the margin. So the higher the margin, the smaller the percentage. We work on a sliding scale. So if your margin is higher, then the percentage that we will take from your margin only, not the entire capital, would be lower. And then if your margin is a bit smaller, then in order for us to make a return, we would need to give you a percentage that is slightly higher.
Okay, yes.
So the elaboration there, I know that there's always nuances. So for instance, if there's a company that provides fuel to a mine, the margins are very slim in this. And that might not fit in with our current model. They will just have a conversation and see what we can work out there. So yes, it can work differently for different companies, different industries, but in general, it just follows a tiered process.
Okay. I'm just looking at my next question. I think it follows through from this one. What is the general, what are they trying to say? What is the general interest rate on a PO finance?
So we don't charge an interest rate for PO finance. We'd still work on the margin that you would be making from that purchase order. And our percentages range from 7 up to 30.
7 up to 30.
Yeah, so we'll never take more than 30% of the profit you're supposed to make from that purchase order.
Okay, and I think there's a difference here because this person's asking a question, and I don't think they understand it from what I'm hearing from you. So they're saying, are you taking the money out of are you taking the percentage? Sorry, they write long questions. So I'm just trying to give you the gist of it. Are you taking the percentage of the overall amount? Example, are you taking 20% of 100,000 or 20% only of our profit?
20% only of the profit.
Oh, that's okay. That's I think because I'm only going to ask that one question because I see there's 7 questions about that. So I think one answer is sufficient. And then the last one that I have, do I have to be VAT registered? I think. Yeah, look, I want to answer that question if possible, because I know that in an RFQ process, and especially with corporate buyers, you have to be VAT registered. There's no two ways about it, just purely because the purchase orders come with the amount and then there's VAT included. So they have to be registered. Yeah, that is the questions from my side. I don't know if there's any more questions. Okay, there's one more saying, okay, are we allowed to apply for PO funding directly with you? Even if we're not registered right now on MAP because we are a service provider, not a manufacturer.
Yeah. Yes, you can, but
I think that's what you do.
it is what we do, but like this is a partnership with Proudly South Africa, so we'll try and push you there still, but definitely won't say no to you.
Okay, all right. Oh, and there's a question from someone says, I am a member, I've been one for 11 years. Okay. Will Aeons, I assume that's yourself, because they say, will the company, but I think it's you. Please send a list of the documentation required to you so you can disperse it to us. I think that's very important. You able to do that?
Yes, absolutely.
I noticed that we have more people on social media that have joined than and on the actual call because between LinkedIn and yeah, we have lots of questions and lots of you. Okay. And then of course, oh, someone's asking if they must apply through me. No, you don't apply through me. You apply through Aeons, as per the discussion this morning. So I don't facilitate any financial agreements between members and service providers. There we go. Contact details. You would need to apply directly with the company, purely because no one within Proudly South African is supposed to facilitate anything financial for you, please. If you can please take note of the contact details so that you are able to apply accordingly. Rulani says, I have 2 companies. One is a member and the other is not. What if I need PO financing on the company that's not registered as a member? So, Rolani, I'll allow Kevin to talk you through, but just from my side, I'm saying it's fine. We would love for every one of you guys to be a member so that you can, receive this benefit and others as well. But please do not stop yourself if you have two companies and one is not a member. Please go ahead and apply for your funding accordingly. And as confirmed, you must apply with Aeons directly or Usko, not myself. Thank you.
I think just to speak to that point, going forward, there'll be a new iteration of MAP. So just maybe some viewers missed Sina's presentation around MAP and how to access Usko from the MAP side, from a supplier side. So you can access us within MAP, which will push you to our website. In future, with future iterations of MAP, it'll be a lot stronger in terms of integration, that it'll be directly integrated from a Proudly SA side directly into Usko. So that will be a direct link in going forward. Not now, obviously, this is still open. And again, really would encourage guys to register on Proudly SA.
Karen, also, I think Team Aeons, I think it's so important to understand. So, in terms of Proudly SA, we do have a vetting process. So I understand what Rolani is saying. Sometimes, even within the same company, we allow the business to use or utilize the logo on locally manufactured product only and not international products. So it can be one company, but it can be different divisions, and we only allow that which is vetted for local content, for them to use the logo. So I understand what they're saying when some are not Proudly SA, some are. So can we also apply for those that are not? So we don't want to restrict that.
Mm.
I have another question from Sophie. She says, is there a restriction on sector? Do you supply peer funding for manufacturing only, or does someone who is in the service industry able to apply for funding? Example, someone who does what? She's talking about, okay, so they offer their services, their cleaning services to the hospitality industry and to sometimes retail. So they would be more in the service industry as opposed to manufacturing, because they don't manufacture anything. Is there any restrictions to them for applying for peer funding?
So that I think more than likely they wouldn't need purchase order funding, they would need the invoice discounting or invoice purchasing. Because they wouldn't have to buy supplies or stock unless you need to buy that. Great, we can do it on a purchase order. But more than likely, you already have those expenses in your business, you've delivered the service, and the payment terms are not conducive to your cash flow. It's going to take 30 days or 60 days to get paid. That's where we'll come in on the invoice discounting. So that will work for them. But if they need to buy stock, cleaning goods, whatever, and they have a purchase order for that, then yes, we would also service them there. Same with software development as well. I mean, it would be the same thing there. There's no stock to purchase there. You just do the job, get paid earlier than waiting for 60 days. Yeah.
Midge, if I can just ask a question, and this is me asking the question, not anyone else. So just from a perspective of funding, because I would like to relay the message to even our members who haven't joined the call, are you only peer funding, or you offer funding across the board? Like discount, bridging finance? Yeah, invoice discount. I don't know all of it, I'm sorry, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there was the 4 that we demonstrated in the demo. I think this is recorded, so guys can rewind and I don't know, rewind is a bit, but yeah, go back. The two main ones, purchase order funding and then invoice discounting. And then there's another two types of funding, which is early payout and the revolving credit. And that's aimed at e-commerce platforms. So
Okay.
that will allow you to buy stock to sell online, or you've
Yes.
already sold your stock, and the e-commerce platform that you on only pays out every 2 weeks. You can get paid out earlier.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I think I don't have any more questions on my side. I'm just checking the social. Um, yeah, I don't seem to have any more questions. Okay, yeah, no, there's no more questions on our side. Just to make sure that our members are benefiting from this, can I then ask Karen or any one of you at Aeons to send me a bit of an email to say this is what we're funding. This is who we are. This is what we're funding. You are welcome to make use of our funding model. And then I can send it out to our member companies as well. And those who ask questions, I can forward them the email so that they're well versed on how to apply, etc.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We'll put something together that's addressed all of these questions and what type of funding, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll put something together and you can forward that on.
Forward. I think that would be important because I know the questions will come afterwards. So I just want to be prepared for that. Look, from our side, I think that's it. You've answered very nicely, and I think people are aware. As I said, those that are not aware, we will make sure that. I'm just checking one last time, but yeah, there's no question. So we'll just make sure that the email you forward to me, I'll forward to our member companies. And yes, if there's any other questions as well, that's exactly what I'll do. So I think that brings us to the close of our webinar today. So Karabo, Mitchum, Karen, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know this is going to, really assist our member companies, especially because this is one of the greatest gaps between our members and their access to market opportunities. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your presentation, and thank you for being that voice today that will guide our members to possibly, fruitful endeavors on MAP and hopefully e-commerce as well. Do send me those emails and I will pass on to our member companies. And of course, to all our member companies and every one of you that have joined on social media, thank you for taking the time to join us this morning. We hope we have been helpful in guiding you on how to utilize MAP optimally and to really garner some financial benefit from the program. As I said, if there's any questions, you're welcome to email me. If I don't know, I will send it to Usko or Aeons and they will answer it for you. If there's any, I don't think there's anything else, but if there is, you're welcome to email. Thank you so much, colleagues. Thank you so much, members, and everyone on the call. See you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right.
Barbie.
How do I leave? Okay.
That scene where she's like, okay.